Chapter 3655. If eating it will kill you, will you still eat it? The power of the world-burning fire had greatly increased. Several void beasts fighting each other were instantly reduced to ashes, leaving behind only a few soul crystals. The object they were fighting over was also revealed. A piece of tree bark the size of a fist. The tree bark seemed to have been eaten by a void beast, which was then chased and attacked by several others, leading to a large battle. Lin Moyu collected the soul crystals and examined the tree bark. The tree bark emitted a powerful aura, not weaker than that of a great Tao realm artifact. Given that even a piece of tree bark was so powerful, its origin must be extraordinary. Lin Moyu frowned.
This tree bark comes from wood? But how could wood have shed tree bark?
Lin Moyu didn't think someone had damaged wood. The edges of the tree bark were relatively intact, more like it had shed naturally. Suddenly, the tree bark emitted a peculiar aroma that entered Lin Moyu's soul, causing a surge of desire to eat it. Lin Moyu's soul trembled slightly as he suppressed this abnormal urge. However, when he looked at little python, it had turned its head, eyes shining with desire to eat the tree bark. Lin Moyu chuckled lightly.
Do you want to eat it?
Little python nodded.
Very much.
Lin Moyu said,
If eating it will kill you, will you still eat it?
Little python trembled, its eyes quickly clearing up, but soon they shone again.
Master, I still want to eat it.
Lin Moyu slapped little python heavily.
Don't eat it. This thing might really kill you.
Little python was startled and regained its senses for a moment, but soon its eyes shone again. Lin Moyu raised his hand, and dream world fire enveloped the tree bark, completely isolating the aroma it emitted. Little python finally returned to normal. Lin Moyu realized that something was off about the tree bark. It not only attracted others to eat it, but also had a connection with a distant existence. This connection was very faint and intangible. Lin Moyu only discovered some clues after careful examination. It could be imagined that this piece of tree bark was released by wood itself, acting as bait to lure void beasts to eat it. As for what would happen after eating it, Lin Moyu didn't know yet, but it certainly wouldn't be good.
Could it be that wood has developed spiritual intelligence? Or has it found a new master?
Lin Moyu speculated in his heart, casting a fire line.
Little python, follow me.
Little python immediately followed the fire line into the wood's small soul domain. As they passed through layers of mist, the wood's small soul domain seemed extremely quiet, with few spirit beasts along the way. Occasionally, they encountered a few, but they weren't very strong. Little python wondered,
why are there so few void beasts in the wood's small soul domain?
Lin Moyu said,
maybe they're all at wood.
Little python was startled.
You mean they all ate the tree bark and gathered at wood?
Lin Moyu casually said,
should be. We'll know once we get there.
Lin Moyu sat on little python with his eyes closed, a fire line leading the way. Following the faint connection between the tree bark and wood, they headed towards wood. Along the way, Lin Moyu sensed his great thousand world. Since he had separated numerous illusory bodies and even let all his liches evolve the Great Tao, the Great Thousand World had accelerated its evolution. For the beings in the Great Thousand World, this evolution was imperceptible, but for Lin Moyu, the changes were very clear. He could clearly feel his world growing stronger, and this strength was continuously influencing the middle thousand worlds, increasing their power. In the past, worlds like his could only support up to the super god realm. Once they reached that level, they had to break through the world's constraints and enter a larger world to progress further. Now, the upper limits of those middle thousand worlds were being raised, no longer just the super god realm but potentially the true god realm. The specific rules would naturally form during the evolution process. Lin Moyu didn't need to intervene unless he, as the world's master, had his own ideas and wanted to change the rules manually. In the small thousand worlds, souls were beginning to inhabit them. Special soul bodies condensed from the bone hell, ranging from strong to weak. The weakest ones had nowhere to go and could only enter the small thousand worlds. There, they would nurture and become true living beings. The entire world was evolving in a positive direction. The most crucial thing was that the illusory bodies Lin Moyu created using the Buddhist race's three lives secret technique as a base and his own great Tao as the root were not avatars but better than avatars. The existence of many illusory bodies made the connection between Lin Moyu and the Great Thousand World more solid. Even though they were separated by a small soul domain, Lin Moyu could clearly sense changes happening in his own world. If there was any danger in the great world, he could know about it immediately and return. Little Python passed through layers of mist and finally reached the center of the Inwood small soul domain. In sight were countless soul flames, with tens of thousands of powerful void beasts gathered there. Little Python exclaimed,
Are all the void beasts of the Inwood small soul domain here?
Lin Moyu said,
It should be said that only the strongest void beasts who survived the battles are here.
In a small soul domain, there were more than tens of millions of void beasts. They fought crazily for Inwood's tree bark, and the weak were all killed. Only the strongest remained. The weakest among these tens of thousands of void beasts were all at the 5th level of the soul realm. They not only obtained the tree bark but also ate other void beasts to get here. Each void beast was like a pilgrim, devoutly facing a prostrate figure. Lin Moyu could feel that these void beasts were contributing their soul power, and the target was Inwood. Inwood was extremely tall and large, at least 100 million meters high in Lin Moyu's eyes, much bigger than the soul-eating tree of the Grass Soul King. It was just a single branch with leaves but no roots. The cut end was smooth, as if it had been severed with a sharp blade. This matched the legend that Inwood was a branch of the world-building tree, cut off during a great war. Lin Moyu saw a soul flame and whispered,
Has it really developed spiritual intelligence?
Little Python wondered,
Master, you say Inwood has developed spiritual intelligence?
Lin Moyu slightly shook his head.
It's hard to say. It might have developed its own spiritual intelligence, or it might have been possessed by a void beast. But now we can basically confirm why Inwood attracted so many void beasts and why the kings who successfully made Inwood acknowledge them all died in the end.
Little Python instinctively asked.
Why?
Lin Moyu said,
Because Inwood is absorbing the power of these void beasts. Once it drains them completely, they die. If someone becomes the king here, Inwood will think they'll also be drained eventually, so the kings of this small soul domain don't live long. The tree bark is the medium through which Inwood absorbs power, but it's also very attractive to void beasts. Eating the tree bark is the cause, and contributing their lives is the effect. Indeed, cause and effect are everywhere, even visible here in the cycle of causality.
Little Python felt a chill.
But if all the void beasts here die, who will Inwood absorb next?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
After eating its fill, it can rest well for a while, waiting for the Inwood small soul domain to recover.
Chapter 3656. It's been a long time since I've had this feeling. Inwood's actions were in line with the natural order. Wild beasts in nature eat until they're full and then rest until they're hungry again. Perhaps Inwood's rest cycle was very long, possibly measured in tens of thousands of years. The void beasts in the small soul domain had been eaten away, but with enough time, new ones would appear, and others would come from other small soul domains. There were supreme rules governing all this, and it seemed that Inwood's actions were not a one-time occurrence. Little Python asked,
Master, what do you plan to do?
Lin Moyu said,
Inwood comes from the world-building tree, which is an innate origin void treasure. Perhaps there's a hint of the power of an innate origin void treasure within Inwood. Innate origin void treasures are the foundation of the void realm. The reason emperors are called emperors is inseparable from these treasures. Maybe there's a chance to glimpse the core secrets of the void realm from the innate origin void treasure. However, it's almost impossible to come into contact with it. Inwood is a rare opportunity.
Void beasts wouldn't think as much as Lin Moyu did. They just wanted to occupy Inwood and become the king of the small soul domain. This was the instinct of their souls. Even the Soul Heart King, a void beast skilled in thought, wouldn't think so deeply. Their thoughts were limited. Lin Moyu waved his hand. casting a ball of world-burning fire onto a nearby void beast. This beast had the aura of a 5th-level soul, stronger than Little Python. Lin Moyu wanted to see how much reaction his world-burning fire would provoke. If all 10,000 void beasts attacked him together, he could only retreat. If not, he would clear them out one by one. The 5th-level void beast let out a loud cry, attracting the attention of many other void beasts. The massive wood, with its soul flames, suddenly moved. In an instant, all 10,000 void beasts turned towards Lin Moyu.
Go!
Lin Moyu immediately ordered Little Python to leave, while the world-burning fire exploded into a large sea of flames, blocking the void beast's pursuit. Little Python let out a cry and fled at top speed. Each void beast rushed into the fire and out again, ignoring the burning of the world-burning fire as they charged towards Lin Moyu. These void beasts were very fast, and the distance between them was rapidly shrinking. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and the Undead Legion appeared, quickly forming a battle array under the command of the Legion commanders. This gave Lin Moyu time to escape. Little Python thought only of escaping. Any one of these 10,000 void beasts could kill it, let alone so many. After Lin Moyu reached the 5th level of the innate soul, his riding and lashing skills had also reached the high level of the 5th rank. Although they were still not as strong as the pursuing void beasts, they could block them long enough to give Lin Moyu time to escape. As the two sides clashed head-on, the Undead Legion's battle array collapsed, and the void beasts slowed down. Little Python used all its strength to flee wildly, finally losing the void beasts from sight. Layer after layer of chaotic mist obscured the void. Little Python flew for a while before stopping under Lin Moyu's command. Little Python was still shaken.
Master, I think we've escaped.
Lin Moyu nodded.
They've returned. It's been a long time since I've had this feeling.
It had been a long time since he was last pursued. This feeling was quite interesting. He remembered the last time he was pursued was a long time ago. He could sense the situation of the Undead Legion and use their vision to see what had happened earlier. After losing Lin Moyu, the void beasts stood still until Enwood gave new orders. Then they returned. Once they left, the recently deceased members of the Undead Legion revived, and the entire legion was intact. Little Python asked quietly,
Master, what should we do about these powerful void beasts?
Lin Moyu said,
Don't worry, there's a way.
He had already thought of a method to deal with these void beasts. With a thought, the soul-corroding fire basin in his own small soul domain automatically flew towards him. The simplest method was to use the soul-corroding fire basin in conjunction with the world-burning fire to handle these void beasts. Before the soul-corroding fire basin arrived, Lin Moyu made some preparations. He had Little Python wait in the mist while he flew over alone. With the undead eyes, Lin Moyu's vision far surpassed that of the void beasts, giving him a significant advantage. He began to draw divine runes and set up an array outside the void beast's sensory range. Fortunately, he had prepared well when entering the void realm and brought enough divine rune materials. He used the heaven-sealing absolute Tao array again. This array could be large or small, its range and shape variable, making it very practical. The world-sealing Tao Lord had once used this array to seal the entire Great Tao array sect. Now Lin Moyu used it to trap all the void beasts. As he set up the array, the Legion commanders flew out, leading the Undead Legion to form a defensive layer. This would greatly reduce the pressure on the array. With over 10,000 powerful void beasts, including second-level ones, if they all charged together, the array would certainly not hold. That's why the Undead Legion was needed to buffer the impact. This setup was also to give the soul-corroding fire basin time. Even with it, killing so many strong void beasts would take time. Lin Moyu was clear that he and the former giant-faced Lion King still had differences in power, even when manipulating the soul-corroding fire basin. Perhaps if the giant-faced Lion King were here, it could kill them much faster. He also knew that without the soul-corroding fire basin, this tactic wouldn't be possible. As he perfected the array, the soul-corroding fire basin arrived. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. He slowly refined the array, preparing to capture all these void beasts at once. The 10,000 void beasts devoutly faced Wood, contributing their soul power. This process was slow but stable. During Lin Moyu's array setup, some void beasts had dropped from the 5th level of the soul to the 6th. Once they fell to the 6th level, their soul dissipation accelerated, and they soon turned to dust. A piece of tree bark appeared, seemingly saturated with soul power, and returned to Wood. Lin Moyu finally understood why there were no 6th level soul void beasts here. It was because 6th level void beasts didn't have the qualification to face Wood. Wood had its pride and looked down on weak void beasts. Lin Moyu gradually realized that Wood wanted more than just soul power. It wanted something else. That thing could only be provided by void beasts above the 5th level of the soul. When providing that thing, their soul power would weaken until their realm fell below the 5th level, rendering them useless. Lin Moyu thought to himself,
Still not smart enough.
if it were him, he would definitely let the 5th level soul void beasts go. Let them continue to grow and become strong again. After all, they had once been strong, so it would be easier for them to recover. This way, the void beasts wouldn't die out and could even increase in number, providing more benefits. It was better than killing them for immediate gain. This also proved that his thoughts were correct. Even if void beasts gained intelligence, they were still short-sighted, far inferior to cultivators in the real world. The array was finally set up, and the undead legion firmly occupied the inner walls of the array, forming a buffer zone. Lin Moyu entered the array with the soul-corroding fire basin, and with a thought, the fire basin erupted like a volcano, spewing endless flames that enveloped the void. 3,657 3,657. Chapter 3657. It will soon be your turn. The soul-corroding fire basin spewed endless flames, covering the void with gray fire that enveloped every inch of the array. Whether in terms of range or effect on the void beasts, it far surpassed the world-burning fire at this moment. Innumerable void beasts cried out in agony as they were burned by the soul-corroding fire, suffering severe injuries. Lin Moyu showed no mercy, casting numerous world-burning fires that merged with the gray flames. Not only did this make the soul-corroding fire stronger, but it also added a refining effect. The soul-corroding fire reduced the beasts to ash, while the world-burning fire refined them. Wood radiated light with a cold aura, extinguishing the flames wherever it passed. Lin Moyu brought out the ice jade cushion.
Let's see who's colder.
The ice jade cushion flew towards Wood, emitting waves of cold air. The cold air from Wood was quickly repelled by the ice jade cushion. A layer of frost quickly formed on the massive Wood, which was already controlling low temperatures. It was comical to see Wood being ice-encased. As Wood was frozen, the 10,000 void beasts roared incessantly, charging in all directions to escape the sea of fire. However, the undead legion and the heaven-sealing absolute Tao array firmly blocked them, preventing any from escaping. The soul-corroding fire and world-burning fire continued to burn, causing the beasts immense pain and unending cries. Eventually, their cries weakened. One by one, the void beasts died, turning into soul crystals, leaving behind Wood's tree bark. Lin Moyu didn't intend to spare the tree bark and burned it along with the rest. Wood struggled wildly in its ice prison, its size rapidly shrinking and then expanding, bursting with incredible power as it tried to break free. Cracks appeared on the ice layer, and Wood's power was comparable to that of the soul-eating tree and the giant-faced Lion King at their peak. Lin Moyu knew it wasn't that the ice jade cushion was weak, but rather that he was too weak to fully utilize its power.
Burn faster.
Lin Moyu thought, using all his strength to intensify the soul-corroding fire and world-burning fire. Wood's tree bark was charred and melted in the flames, causing it to struggle even more violently. Each piece of tree bark was saturated with the soul power of the void beasts, accumulated by Wood over many years. Now that its spoils were being refined, it was no wonder Wood was enraged. Wood transformed its few branches into massive knives, which rotated wildly in the void, driven by its body. The sound of continuous impacts filled the air, with tens of thousands of strikes per second. The cracks expanded rapidly, and finally the ice layer exploded. The ice jade cushion continued to emit cold streams, but Een Wood, with its branches turned into knives, charged forward through the cold air, unaffected by the flames. Many unburned tree barks flew back to Een Wood, returning to their mother tree. Lin Moyu sighed lightly. The tree barks were too resilient, and there wasn't enough time to completely burn and refine them. With a thought, the soul-corroding fire basin moved forward, spewing gray flames that transformed into fire dragons, striking Een Wood and sending it stumbling. Een Wood roared.
Lion King, you dare to come here seeking death?
Een Wood thought it was the giant-faced Lion King causing trouble, unaware that the Lion King was already dead. Lin Moyu remained silent, continuing to control the soul-corroding fire basin's attack. He withdrew the ice jade cushion, beginning to accumulate power. In the sea of fire, many void beasts were still struggling, but they wouldn't last much longer. After this battle, Lin Moyu's gains would be immense. These soul crystals would allow his soul to break through the 5th level and formally enter the 4th level. For other cultivators, breaking through a realm could take tens of thousands of years. But Lin Moyu, using the world-burning fire and other methods, could break through as easily as eating and drinking. Een Wood, first ice-encased and then blocked by the soul-corroding fire basin, watched helplessly as its years of accumulation were taken by others. It was enraged. The chaotic mist in the small soul domain suddenly stopped flowing, and the power of the soul-corroding fire basin decreased. The chaotic mist was one of its power sources, and without it, its power would weaken. Controlling the chaotic mist of the entire small soul domain wasn't easy, and Een Wood must have paid a significant cost. If it were simple, it would have done so from the start, not waiting until now. Een Wood broke through the fire barrier and charged towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's thoughts moved, and nearly 10,000 skeleton kings emerged. At the same time, an extraordinary aura rose from Lin Moyu's body. The origin techniques, strengthen the army, and gather strength, were cast. Lin Moyu's soul began to consume rapidly. There was no yin-yang origin here, so he needed to use his own soul power to maintain these 2 origin techniques. Fortunately, his soul was much stronger now, and he could sustain these techniques for several hours without issue. The Undead Legion suddenly grew stronger, and Lin Moyu's information surged. The Skeleton Kings, already at the 4th level of the soul, had their destructive power increased tenfold under the origin techniques. Although they were still not as strong as Een Wood, they could at least hold out for a while. Now, the world-burning fire and soul-corroding fire could continue burning without pause. As long as they could hold out, Een Wood would eventually be the one unable to endure. Under the origin techniques, the Undead Legion's power greatly increased, turning from defense to offense and beginning to slaughter the void beasts. Lin Moyu's aura rose rapidly, breaking through the 5th level of the soul and entering the 4th level. He continued to rise, eventually reaching the 3rd level. He joined the battle, killing void beasts. Killing void beasts under the origin techniques allowed him to absorb their soul power, not only strengthening himself but also extending the duration of the origin techniques. However, using this method to enhance his soul wasn't as effective as using soul crystals, so Lin Moyu had never used it before.
Origin treasure technique.
Een Wood suddenly shouted.
You're not the Lion King. Who are you? How do you have the Lion King's soul-corroding fire basin?
Lin Moyu was surprised.
You call it the origin treasure technique? It's just one character different, not much of a difference. The Lion King is naturally dead, and you will be soon.
Lin Moyu said. Een Wood screamed incessantly.
How can you use the origin treasure technique? Even emperors might not know it. You're not from the void realm. You're a cultivator from the real world. But how can a cultivator from the real world control an innate treasure? Who are you?
Een Wood was completely disheveled. Lin Moyu ignored it, and nearly 10,000 skeleton kings surrounded it, with the Undead Legion attacking from all sides, encircling it completely. The ice jade cushion was accumulating power, seemingly waiting for the next attack. Lin Moyu and the undead legion slaughtered the void beasts, leaving only those that had been burned beyond recognition, with almost no resistance left. The void beasts turned into beautiful soul crystals, which Lin Moyu collected. Meanwhile, Wood was helpless, only able to roar in anger. Lin Moyu turned to Wood.
Don't rush, it will soon be your turn.
Chapter 3658. Reversing Vitality. After some setup, the void beasts gathered by Wood ended up serving as a wedding dress for Lin Moyu. The 10,000 void beasts, ranging from the weakest 5th level to the strongest 2nd level, didn't last long under the intense attack of the world-burning fire, soul-corroding fire, and the undead legion. They were completely annihilated in less than half an hour. Lin Moyu discovered that these void beasts, having consumed tree bark, contributed a large amount of soul power to Wood. As a result, they were relatively weak within their realm. Further weakened by the soul-corroding fire and the undead legion, their soul power dissipated significantly. The resulting soul crystals were of lower quality. The soul crystals from the 2nd-level void beasts were comparable to those from ordinary 3rd-level void beasts, all slightly inferior. However, they were sufficient. Nearly 10,000 soul crystals were enough for Lin Moyu to touch the 4th level of the soul. With the void beasts resolved, Lin Moyu's attention turned to Wood. Wood swung its branch-like knives, tearing apart a large portion of the undead legion. The skeleton kings had lost more than half their numbers, and the undead legion's damage was immeasurable. However, Lin Moyu didn't care. As long as he could defeat Wood, any cost was worth it. Lin Moyu had decided to become the master of this small soul domain and then merge 2 small soul domains. The Void Realm wasn't just a place for him to improve his cultivation level. It was also where he could comprehend the Great Tao. Here, he could connect to countless real worlds. If he could control a vast enough soul domain, he could access more real worlds. He could observe and ponder real worlds, gaining insights into the Great Tao from different worlds. This would eventually become nourishment for his world's growth. Although his world could evolve on its own, even without interference, it would take billions of years. Lin Moyu couldn't wait that long, so he wanted to intervene actively. While ensuring natural evolution, he would accelerate it. His intuition told him that world evolution was crucial for him. The sea of fire gradually shrank, and the flames concentrated. Lin Moyu focused all his strength on attacking Wood, which struggled wildly in rage. It repeatedly tried to break through the encirclement, coming close to success several times. However, the Legion commanders managed to hold it back using the Undead Legion. The encirclement moved with Wood, always present no matter where it went. Lin Moyu gradually realized that Wood's power wasn't as strong as he imagined. When he watched the soul-eating tree and the giant-faced Lion King fight, their powers were astonishing, truly like that of a Tao Master. However, Wood's power, aside from its initial burst, never reached that level again. As a natural treasure of a small soul domain, Wood's power couldn't be so limited. It must be unable to fully unleash its strength. If Wood's power could truly erupt, it would certainly break through the encirclement.
It seems that the one inside Wood hasn't fully refined it. They must have only refined a part and gained some authority.
Lin Moyu's eyes gleamed with insight.
In that case, let's refine it completely.
He fully activated the world-burning fire, which burned the soul within Wood, causing it to emit cries of agony. Would burst forth with divine light, and endless chaotic mist was drawn in, transforming into its powerful, ancient history. The chaotic mist became countless divine soldiers, charging forward and causing the undead legion to collapse instantly. The divine soldiers crashed into the heaven-sealing absolute Tao array, which shook violently before shattering a second later. Would manage to blast a path open, but its aura weakened significantly after this blow, clearly at great cost. However, this blow also gave Wood a chance to escape. It didn't hesitate and rushed wildly into the distance. A cold gust fell from above, and Wood, which had just flown out, was instantly frozen. The ice jade cushion regained some power and re-encased Ian in ice, cutting off its last hope of escape. Ian struggled in the ice, with the world-burning fire and soul-corroding fire still burning fiercely on its body, creating a bizarre scene. Ice and fire coexisted, with fire inside the ice and ice outside the fire. Lin Moyu didn't use the catastrophic staff to deal with Ian, since Ian was a natural treasure of the small soul domain. If it were damaged, Lin Moyu wouldn't be able to become the master of the domain. The best approach now was to wear it down. Ian itself could withstand the attack, but the soul inside might not. Ian shattered the ice encasement again, but its aura was weaker than before. Lin Moyu continued to confine it, gradually wearing it down. He could see the soul inside Ian weakening, unable to endure. Ian's body was also somewhat damaged, but the injury wasn't severe, just superficial and acceptable. The standoff lasted a long time, with Ian's roars gradually weakening. The soul inside finally couldn't hold out. Dark energy erupted from Ian's surface, and a large amount of chaotic mist was drawn in, temporarily enveloping the energy. A pair of sinister eyes appeared in the dark energy.
Then let's die together.
The dark energy suddenly appeared before Lin Moyu, who instinctively wanted to retreat. However, space seemed to solidify and he couldn't move. The dark energy exploded into a storm that swept over Lin Moyu, causing his soul body to collapse rapidly. A maniacal laughter echoed through the void.
Die, let's die together.
The storm, carrying the laughter, flew into the distance and gradually disappeared. A purple light flashed, and Lin Moyu's soul reappeared, reborn thanks to his innate ability.
It's really not easy to deal with.
Lin Moyu sighed. In the void realm, any existence that could become a king had its own methods. After all, every king was exceptional among countless void beasts. Without some tricks, they wouldn't have made it. The opponent had left a final trick of mutual destruction, which was beyond Lin Moyu's expectations. However, fortunately, Lin Moyu possessed the ability to be reborn. The opponent's attempt at mutual destruction was nothing but a joke. Ian had finally calmed down. In the undead eyes, it was clear that the soul within Ian was gone, leaving only a treasure. Lin Moyu touched Ian and felt its vibrant vitality.
A mere piece of broken wood has such vitality. It seems that the world-building tree is truly extraordinary.
However, this vitality was not expanding outward but was instead being absorbed inward. All those who tried to refine it would have their vitality drained, eventually dying. This was why even the Shadow Technique Kings didn't live long. This time's Ian King was clever, using the souls of other void beasts to replace his own, constantly replenishing his soul power and living longer. But this method was not sustainable in the long run. Eventually, he would still die. The only way to truly live long was to reverse this vitality. Chapter 3659. The True Ian King. To reverse the vitality within Ian, Lin Moyu needed to make it release its energy outward instead of absorbing it inward. This would not only benefit the void beasts that became Ian kings, but also strengthen Ian power. Lin Moyu could feel the immense vitality inside Ian, which had been constantly accumulating over the years. It had absorbed countless void beasts' soul power, transforming it into its own vitality. This vitality was so powerful that it could shock anyone. However, everything has its limits. When vitality reaches a certain level, death will follow.
If it continues to absorb like this, it might reach its peak in many years, turning into death. At that time, this small soul domain will become a land of death. If there are real worlds within this domain, the death energy will affect those worlds. This catastrophe would be unstoppable, and even if the source couldn't be found, the real world might not even know how it perished. Death might persist for a long time, attracting special void beasts until it reaches its peak and gives birth to new vitality again.
Lin Moyu imagined what would happen next and the process of evolution. Now, he had his own ideas about world evolution and could predict possible future events through gradual deduction. Reversing vitality was almost impossible for others, Perhaps only the emperor who possessed the world-building tree could achieve this. Lin Moyu, however, was skilled in the undead Tao, which excelled at manipulating life and death forces. He was accustomed to the transition between life and death. A phantom body emerged like a blank sheet of paper. Lin Moyu infused it with life force, and it entered Wood, beginning the refining process. The refining process was smooth, with Wood offering little resistance. It was completed in no time. Afterward, Wood began to absorb the life force from the phantom body. Lin Moyu continuously supplied life force for Wood to absorb, enough to last until the end of time. The phantom body delved deep into Wood's core, using the undead Tao to control its vitality and force it to flow outward. Wood trembled, creating a powerful cycle of absorption and release. Lin Moyu manipulated the phantom body, gradually changing and overcoming resistance to complete the reversal. Lin Moyu was very patient, altering Wood's power flow like performing a major surgery. This was a slow process that couldn't be rushed. Little Python waited for a long time without seeing Lin Moyu return. It mustered the courage to fly over and saw Lin Moyu struggling with Wood. Although it couldn't understand what Lin Moyu was doing, it felt that Lin Moyu's task was difficult. It didn't dare disturb Lin Moyu and waited quietly, occasionally glancing up. After a while, a peculiar aura descended. A figure appeared before Little Python, startling it into closing its eyes. The Soul Heart King had arrived and, as usual, stepped on Little Python's head. The Soul Heart King didn't disturb Lin Moyu either, watching alongside Little Python. Its gaze was much sharper than Little Python's, and it noticed some clues, revealing a look of surprise. Lin Moyu focused intently on performing
Surgery.
on Wood. Finally, the vitality within Wood stopped flowing inward and returned to normal. A massive surge of vitality erupted, enveloping a large area. The phantom body quickly controlled Wood, preventing its vitality from releasing wildly. Wood's vitality was indeed powerful, but it needed to be harnessed, not randomly released. Lin Moyu turned to the Soul Heart King.
Thank you for waiting, Soul Heart Taoist.
He was aware of the Soul Heart King's arrival and didn't mind its presence. The Soul Heart King said,
Lin friend, your methods are truly impressive. Reversing Wood's vitality and becoming the true Wood King is no easy feat.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Soul Heart Taoist is too kind. I merely tried my best, unsure if I would succeed.
The Soul Heart King shook its head.
Many kings have wanted to do this, but I too have tried and failed.
Lin Moyu was surprised.
It seems you've known about Wood for a long time. Could you tell me more?
The Soul Heart King explained.
This happened a long time ago. The two emperors of the world-building and Golden Furnace Great Realms clashed, leading to a massive war. During the war, the world-building emperor used the world-building tree to absorb the life force of countless void beasts, aiming to destroy the Golden Furnace Great Realms foundation. However, the Golden Furnace Emperor interrupted the spell, and a piece of it became Wood. Because the world-building emperor was casting a secret technique, Wood retained this state of reversed vitality. Later, Wood formed a small soul domain here. Many kings tried to control it but faced the same problem. They couldn't stop the vitality from flowing inward. Some less intelligent void beasts became temporary Wood kings, but their fates were predictable.
Lin Moyu said.
Indeed, a previous void beast occupied Wood, using it to absorb the soul power of many void beasts to prolong its life. However, this wasn't a long-term solution.
The Soul Heart King congratulated Lin Moyu on successfully reversing Wood's vitality and becoming the true Wood King.
Now that you are the king of two small soul domains, do you plan to merge them?
The Soul Heart King asked. Lin Moyu replied.
I do have that intention.
The Soul Heart King advised.
Then take advantage of the current situation and resonate with the 9 innate origin treasures. The Emperor won't interfere now, but it might be different later.
Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
Why doesn't the Emperor approve of merging small soul domains?
The Soul Heart King explained.
It's not that they disapprove, but they don't like it. Merging domains means expanding territory, which increases a king's power. If your power becomes strong enough to crush other domains, you might launch invasions and merge more domains. This would disrupt the balance in the Great Realm, and the Emperor would naturally intervene.
Lin Moyu understood this logic. If a king became too powerful, forming a state within a state, it wouldn't be good. However, he had other doubts.
But the Emperor controls the innate origin treasures. Even the strongest king can't compare to them, so why would they care?
The Soul Heart King shook its head.
I don't know the deeper reasons, but the Emperor doesn't like it. However, if you've already done it, and it's not too excessive, they won't intervene. As for what's excessive, at least they won't interfere until you've merged 10 small soul domains. Just don't do too much.
Lin Moyu didn't want to confront the Emperor directly yet and appreciated the Soul Heart King's kind warning.
Thank you for reminding me, Soul Heart Taoist. I understand.
The Soul Heart King waved its hand.
It's a small matter. Your tea leaves have been very helpful. Recently, I've gained a deeper understanding of the Void Realm's heaven and earth. If I can enter the real world in the future, I believe I can achieve something.
Lin Moyu said.
I've been waiting for your news, Soul Heart Taoist. When the time comes, I'll help you find a way.
The Soul Heart King smiled, pleased with Lin Moyu's words.
Very well, Lin friend. You can proceed with the merger. I'll watch over things here. If there are any problems, you can contact me anytime.
Chapter 3660. Occupying the Small Soul Domain. For kings in the Void Realm, the larger their small soul domain, the more benefits they receive. The Void Realm has its own simple and brutal rules. Just like the Void Beasts here, they don't need to comprehend the Great Tao. They only need to continuously absorb and refine chaotic mist to enhance their power. This applies to Lin Moyu as well. Although he can't absorb chaotic mist, a larger small soul domain can still strengthen his soul. Lin Moyu manipulated the small soul domain of Wood King, forcibly changing its shape to approach the small soul domain formed by the soul-corroding fire basin. At the same time, the soul-corroding fire basin's small soul domain moved towards Wood King's. It was as if they were rushing towards each other. The two innate treasures resonated with each other, and the small soul domains began to merge slowly. Wherever the small soul domains passed, chaotic mist cleared the way, covering and eliminating vacuum zones. In another direction of Wood's small soul domain, a vacuum zone was expanding. The size of space is fixed. If one area shrinks, another will expand. This is an unchanging rule. Under Lin Moyu's precise control, the merging process was very smooth. The Soul Heart King felt that staying was unnecessary since Lin Moyu didn't need any guidance. The Soul Heart King said,
Lin friend, I'll take my leave. When you have time, come visit me for tea.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Soul Heart Taoist, take care.
After the Soul Heart King left, Little Python finally relaxed, muttering softly.
Finally gone.
Once the two small soul domains were fully merged, an invisible aura appeared from the void, ignoring the chaotic mist and directly landing on Lin Moyu. This aura traced its source, bypassing the phantom body and targeting Lin Moyu directly. Lin Moyu's soul power began to rise rapidly, breaking through a small realm in an instant and reaching the middle stage of the 5th level of the innate soul. This feeling was peculiar, like the luck of the void realm or a reward from its great Tao. Lin Moyu started refining soul crystals. He generously threw out over 100 soul crystals for Little Python to absorb and refine together. The large number of soul crystals being refined caused Lin Moyu's soul power to surge like a rocket. Since starting his cultivation, his realm advancement speed had never been this fast. Others found it increasingly difficult to advance after entering the Great Tao realm, requiring immense time and effort. However, Lin Moyu's advancements were getting faster and faster. He knew this was because his accumulation before reaching the Great Tao realm was exceptionally rich. While he couldn't say he was the first, he was likely unprecedented. The existence of the world-burning fire allowed him to dominate the void realm, using its void beasts as stepping stones for his ascension. This was something no one else could achieve. Lin Moyu wondered who the mysterious master was. If they were just a heavenly venerable in the great world, how could they possess the world-burning fire, a flame that defied the heavens? If the mysterious master had entered the soul void with the world-burning fire, they could have elevated their level, escaped the great world, and even saved it. But why did the mysterious master leave the world-burning fire for Lin Moyu? How did they calculate that Lin Moyu would appear 1,000,000 years later and obtain the world-burning fire? 1,000,000 years was too long with too many variables. Even the Destiny Dao found it hard to predict. Some things seemed off when looked back upon. Many mysteries had been solved on Lin Moyu's cultivation path, and the secrets of the world were becoming fewer in his eyes. However, some mysteries remained unsolvable. Lin Moyu felt that there was a large hand controlling this world. If he couldn't escape it, he wouldn't truly see the truth.
I'm getting closer, and one day, I'll overturn it. I want to see who is behind the scenes and trample that hand underfoot.
Lin Moyu's realm continued to rise, his soul expanding and contracting repeatedly, turning pure soul power into his own. Soon, his soul reached the high stage of the 5th level, touching the bottleneck of the next realm. At this time, more than half of the soul crystals had been refined. Lin Moyu took a deep breath and shouted.
Refine!
In an instant, thousands of soul crystals exploded, releasing a massive surge of soul power that rapidly expanded his soul body, as if it would burst at any moment. Using power beyond the critical point, Lin Moyu broke through the bottleneck, relying on his ability to be reborn without hesitation. The strong impact not only hit his soul body but also his Dao heart. However, Lin Moyu's Dao heart was firm enough to ignore the impact. The solid bottleneck finally shattered under the repeated soul power assaults, and Lin Moyu's power leaped forward, entering the 4th level of the innate soul. Every aspect of his soul was filled with powerful energy, entering the 4th level of the innate soul, which, although a small realm, doubled his power. Digesting the remaining soul power, Lin Moyu stabilized his realm at the initial stage of the 4th level of the innate soul. The Skeleton God General and Dragon Rider had reached the middle stage of the 4th level, while the Legion Commander was slightly stronger but hadn't reached the high stage of the 4th level. Only the Skeleton King stood firmly at the high stage of the 4th level. The higher the realm, the more dramatic the change in strength with each small difference. Lin Moyu felt that maintaining this progress for the Undead Legion was already sufficient. He gazed at his 207 small soul domains and muttered to himself,
I've finally reached the 4th level of the soul. The next step is to challenge the main level of the soul. The 3rd level of the soul is truly powerful in the Great Tao realm. I feel that the gap between the 3rd and 4th levels will be significant, and advancing to the 3rd level won't be easy.
He quickly made up his mind.
Continue occupying more small soul domains and merge more. Take advantage of the time before the Emperor can intervene.
The Soul Heart King had said that merging more than 9 small soul domains would displease the Emperor. However, if Lin Moyu could merge more than 9 before the Emperor could react, perhaps the Emperor wouldn't intervene. In Lin Moyu's view, once it was done, the Emperor might not be able to stop it. After all, merging small soul domains was difficult, and separating them would be even harder, possibly leading to another great war. The specifics of how the Emperor would handle it depended on the situation. Regardless, Lin Moyu decided to act swiftly and worry later. His next target was the small soul domain of the Grass Soul King. He went to Little Python's head and pointed out the direction. Little Python had just advanced to the high stage of the 6th level of the soul and was excited. He followed Lin Moyu's directions without question. Following Lin Moyu had brought it many benefits. Little Python had long been devoted to Lin Moyu, regretting not meeting such a good master sooner. Chapter 3661. Take advantage of its weakness. Lin Moyu's plan was straightforward. Occupy several nearby small soul domains to form a larger one, similar to controlling a mountain stronghold, and then expand outward. Everything else was manageable, but the small soul domain of the Soul Heart King was temporarily off-limits. As the first friendly king of a small soul domain, Lin Moyu had a good relationship with the Soul Heart King, almost like a half-friend. Lin Moyu couldn't bring himself to take something from a friend, so he wouldn't attack the Soul Heart King's domain. Sitting on Little Python's head, Lin Moyu sped through the vacuum zones, re-entering the territory of the Grass Soul King. This time, he could sense changes in the Grass Soul King's small soul domain. The chaotic mist was no longer as dense as before, having been depleted by the previous battle. Although chaotic mist in the Void Realm was inexhaustible, consuming too much at once required time to replenish. There had been Emperor-level wars that exhausted the chaotic mist in dozens of small soul domains, taking a long time to recover. With the mist thinner, many void beasts emerged from it, perched in the void, waiting for the mist to recover. Most void beasts had territorial instincts and weren't intelligent or fond of changing locations. This made Little Python stand out as special. If nothing unexpected happened, Little Python might become the king of a small soul domain in the future. Those who reached the first level of the soul would often seek opportunities in distant places, and the existence of kings wasn't fixed. Along the way, Lin Moyu casually slaughtered the void beasts he encountered. The previous battle in the Grass Soul King's domain had killed off most of the strong void beasts, leaving only weaker ones that were almost negligible to Lin Moyu. A large number of skeleton soldiers flew out, forming a vast net to search for the Grass Soul King. The void still held the aura of the previous battle, and Lin Moyu used a second refined virtual soul pill to attract several kings, indicating that this fight wouldn't end easily. After a long search, they couldn't find the Grass Soul King. Although it was just a small soul domain, its space was incredibly vast. If the Grass Soul King was hiding intentionally, it wouldn't be easy to find. Lin Moyu realized that searching this way wasn't effective and decided to change his method. A complex divine rune began to form on his fingertips. This rune was unique, embodying Lin Moyu's personal will, unlike any he had drawn before. Lin Moyu created his own divine runes based on his understanding and needs. His skill in divine runes had reached a higher level, no longer limited to those created by others. He could now draw runes that served specific functions. Divine runes were the manifestation of the Tao and rules. Everything in the world, whether living or dead, was governed by the Tao. This divine rune, unique to Lin Moyu, shone brightly in the Void Realm, emitting a dreamy, ethereal power. Lin Moyu didn't use source crystal materials to create it. Instead, he drew it purely with soul power, giving it a more refined, ethereal quality. The rune began to absorb the aura scattered throughout the Void Realm, specifically targeting the Grass Soul King's energy. The Grass Soul King had left behind a significant amount of aura. After absorbing it, the rune started to emit an aura identical to the Grass Soul King's. If one couldn't see that it was a divine rune, they might mistake it for the Grass Soul King's avatar. Lin Moyu thought,
Trace the source.
The rune flew in a specific direction, and Lin Moyu signaled Little Python to follow. Little Python curiously asked,
Master, what is this?
Lin Moyu replied,
I call it the tracing rune. It can find the Grass Soul King.
Little Python watched the rune flying ahead and felt amazed.
I've seen you draw similar things before, which you called formations. I thought they were magical even back then. Can I learn this?
Lin Moyu said,
Of course, but it's not easy. You still lack a deep understanding of the Tao. Most void beasts rely on instinct rather than comprehension.
Little Python nodded.
It seems I won't be able to learn it until I become a true living being.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
There's time. Don't rush.
Little Python nodded firmly.
I'll follow Master and learn someday.
It had fully committed to following Lin Moyu, no longer wavering. Lin Moyu reflected on creating the tracing rune, marking significant progress for him. With this rune, he could create his own formations just like his predecessors. The tracing rune continued to absorb the Grass Soul King's aura, growing brighter. Lin Moyu finally spotted a bright soul flame belonging to the Grass Soul King.
Arrived!
He thought, and the undead legion surged out, forming a massive encirclement around the Grass Soul King. The entire process was silent until the encirclement was complete, and the Grass Soul King remained still. The Grass Soul King was in a deep sleep, shrunk to a tiny size, and its originally towering soul-devouring tree was now less than half a meter tall. Its aura was also highly repressed, clearly attempting to hide. Lin Moyu discovered through the soul flame that the Grass Soul King was severely injured, significantly weaker than before.
It seems it was wounded during the fight for the virtual soul pill. First, it severely injured the giant-faced Lion King, then clashed with 4 other small soul domain kings over the soul refining furnace and the virtual soul pill.
A series of intense battles had naturally left it injured. Small soul domain kings could recover quickly within their domains using innate treasures. But this time, the power had been overdrawn, and recovery was much slower. After so long, the Grass Soul King still hadn't recovered, confirming Lin Moyu's suspicions.
Take advantage of its weakness.
In the small soul domains, there was no need for reason. It was a world of survival of the fittest. The Grass Soul King knew this and had hidden far away, but Lin Moyu still found it. Lin Moyu activated 2 powerful origin techniques.
Strong army.
And
gather power.
The undead legion rapidly closed in. Lin Moyu's realm surged to the limit, quickly advancing to the initial stage of the 2nd level of the soul, joining the battle. The sleeping Grass Soul King was startled awake by the aura of the origin techniques, instinctively crying out.
Origin treasure techniques.
The awakened Grass Soul King, along with the soul-devouring tree, quickly returned to its normal size. Just as it woke up, it faced an overwhelming cold aura, and the Grass Soul King, along with the tree, was frozen solid. In its vision, Lin Moyu wielded the Catastrophic Scepter, striking down mercilessly. Chapter 3662. You want to achieve enlightenment? So do I. This time, Lin Moyu didn't worry about damaging the innate treasures. He used a more direct method, striking the Grass Soul King with the Catastrophic Scepter. The Undead Legion and Origin techniques were just precautions. Lin Moyu had experience from before and knew that these kings weren't easy to deal with. Perhaps the Grass Soul King had some hidden tricks. Facing the Catastrophic Scepter, the Grass Soul King struggled desperately, its screams piercing through the ice. The branches of the soul-devouring tree transformed into light swords, slashing towards Lin Moyu in dense waves. The ice layer cracked and exploded, sending ice blocks flying like cannonballs. Lin Moyu swung the Catastrophic Scepter, shattering most of the ice blocks, while using soul power to withstand a few. Fortunately, he had used the Gather Power technique to boost his realm, or he might not have been able to endure. The Catastrophic Scepter clashed with the soul-devouring tree's branches, breaking them with a loud crash. The light swords were shattered into pieces, unable to withstand the Catastrophic Scepter. The Grass Soul King wailed in agony, as it was a companion creature to the soul-devouring tree. When the tree was damaged, the Grass Soul King was also injured. As the Catastrophic Scepter drew near, the Grass Soul King showed a terrified expression and tried to flee. However, the soul gem on the Catastrophic Scepter glowed, exerting a pulling force that immobilized the Grass Soul King, eliminating its last chance to escape. The Catastrophic Scepter struck the Grass Soul King with great force, causing it to shatter into pieces. The soul gem sparkled, absorbing all the shattered soul fragments of the Grass Soul King. Lin Moyu noticed that the soul gem had become brighter and more powerful. He sensed a hint of pleasure from it, as if it were urging him to find more souls like this. Suddenly, a voice came from the soul-devouring tree.
Who are you? Why did you kill my king?
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised, looking at the soul-devouring tree. On the tree, a small grass was swaying. He recognized it as a remnant of the Grass Soul King.
I didn't expect that even after your main body died, your remnant could still survive.
The small grass whispered.
You are a cultivator from the real world. Why did you come to kill my king?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
There's no reason. Many things happen without a reason. You wanted to achieve enlightenment, and so do I. When you fought for the soul refining furnace, did you ever think about why?
The small grass paused.
So the soul refining furnace was yours. You used it as bait to make us fight each other to our mutual disadvantage.
Lin Moyu smiled lightly.
At first, I didn't think of it that way, but now it seems plausible. Well, your remnant should also disperse. Rest in peace.
The Grass Soul King's main body was dead, and its remnant couldn't last long. Saying a few words was already its limit. The small grass dissipated into mist, and the soul-devouring tree let out mournful cries, as if lamenting the Grass Soul King's passing. As its companion creature, the soul-devouring tree's instincts didn't want to see the Grass Soul King die. Lin Moyu felt a surge of angry intent from the soul-devouring tree, which now regarded him as an enemy. The tree's branches moved slowly, ready to attack at any moment. With a light laugh, Lin Moyu gently placed the catastrophic scepter on the soul-devouring tree.
Behave and don't provoke me.
The soul-devouring tree trembled violently and quickly calmed down. Although its instincts disliked Lin Moyu, they feared death even more. Lin Moyu said,
That's more like it.
A phantom body flew out and landed on the soul-devouring tree, beginning to refine it. With the catastrophic scepter holding it in place, the soul-devouring tree was obedient and didn't resist, allowing the phantom body to complete the refinement easily. Once refined, the small soul domain that originally belonged to the Grass Soul King now belonged to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu manipulated the small soul domain, merging it with his own. The domain changed shape like cotton, and the vacuum zones were gradually covered by mist, becoming smaller. Wherever the chaotic mist passed, it smoothed out the vacuum zones, eliminating dangers. Although the small soul domain occasionally had dangerous areas, they were fewer and safer compared to the vacuum zones. As the small soul domains merged, the chaotic mist began to flow between them. Lin Moyu discovered that the Grass Soul King's original domain had little chaotic mist left. However, now the mist was emerging from all corners, increasing in density.
These chaotic mists aren't coming from other small soul domains. It's strange. Where are they coming from? It seems that the larger the small soul domain, the denser the chaotic mist. The void beasts living inside benefit more. As the master of 3 small soul domains, I receive the greatest benefits.
The 3 small soul domains finally merged, and an invisible force landed on Lin Moyu. This force had appeared before, feeling like a reward from the Void Realm's great Tao. Lin Moyu's realm naturally rose significantly, though he didn't break through to the middle stage of the 4th level of the soul. He was much stronger than before. If he could merge another small soul domain, Lin Moyu believed he could enter the middle stage of the 4th level of the soul. This rate of improvement was astonishing, only slightly slower than refining soul crystals.
The Void Realm is truly my treasure trove.
Lin Moyu felt at ease in the Void Realm, as if it were prepared for him. After the small soul domains fully merged, the soul-devouring tree, the soul-corroding fire basin, and the Een would all shook simultaneously. The 3 innate treasures resonated with each other, releasing powerful energy. The chaotic mist in the small soul domain increased and thickened. Lin Moyu frowned, muttering to himself,
What's happening? Why are these 3 innate treasures resonating? I can feel that the small soul domains have become stronger in the resonance. Each is more powerful than before. Perhaps the more small soul domains I merge, the stronger they become. What if I merge 10 or even 100 small soul domains? Could they become as powerful as a large spirit city? However, large spirit cities have innate origin treasures, which small soul domains can't compare to.
Lin Moyu thought that even a broken branch of an innate origin treasure could support a small soul domain, showing how formidable these treasures were. Lin Moyu felt he was thinking too far ahead and should focus on the present.
For now, I have 3 small soul domains, those of the giant-faced Lion King, the Grass Soul King, and the Eenwood King. 2 of them are severely injured, and the Eenwood King is a special case. I use clever tactics against them, but facing a king in their prime won't be easy. I need to think of another strategy. If I use the soul refining furnace as bait again, it might work, but doing it too many times will create weaknesses and might attract a group attack. If I don't use the soul refining furnace as bait and attack them directly, Prime Kings will be difficult to defeat. I need a foolproof plan.
He sat in the void, deep in thought. Chapter 3663, Understanding Formations. Lin Moyu had experienced battling small soul domain kings 3 times and realized that these kings were not easy to deal with. He had been lucky to face the severely injured giant face lion king and grass soul king, whose strength was less than a third of their prime. The special case was the Eanwood king, which couldn't utilize the power of the Eanwood. To harness this power, the first step was to restore the normal flow of life force, allowing the Eanwood king to become nearly invulnerable. Lin Moyu felt fortunate. As for the other small soul domain kings, he had seen some of them fight against the grass soul king, and they were all very strong. Without clever tactics, Lin Moyu would find it difficult to defeat them. Lin Moyu sat in the void, pondering his strategy.
Since it's hard to attack them directly, I might as well wait for them to come to me. Let's move the battlefield to my small soul domain, where their power won't be fully effective. Still, using the soul refining furnace as bait is a good idea. But before that, I need to set up some traps so they can't leave once they arrive. The best method would be to use formations, but the ones I currently know aren't enough. I need a more powerful formation.
Lin Moyu sat cross-legged in the void, focusing his mind. He wanted to create a formation capable of killing small soul domain kings. Creating a formation wasn't something that could be done overnight. It required time. Lin Moyu had memories of many formations from the origin continent, but not all could be used in the void realm. Even the heaven-sealing absolute Tao formation needed adjustments to work in the void realm. Lin Moyu aimed to create his own formation, surpassing the heaven-sealing absolute Tao formation, which was no easy task. However, Lin Moyu believed in himself. Lin Moyu remained still, his soul power naturally emanating. Around him, divine runes began to appear, reflecting beautiful light. In the origin continent, over 100 years had passed. The world had recovered significantly, and the power of the great Tao had changed. The continent now allowed 7th-level innate soul cultivators to enter. Various forces had developed rapidly during this time, spreading their teachings and attracting many disciples. However, they followed Lin Moyu's orders and didn't use force to plunder talent, instead relying on enticements. The native sects of the origin continent also developed quickly. Ancient sects like the ancient Lotus Holy Land, with their background in the heavenly Tao, became stronger as powerful figures from the heavenly Tao descended upon them. The Dongfang family was similar, backed by heavenly Tao forces. No top sect on the origin continent was simple. Most had powerful backers. Some smaller forces also had hidden supporters, and ancestors came to seek their roots, causing minor changes in the power dynamics of the origin continent. However, due to Lin Moyu's intimidating presence, no one dared to cause significant upheaval, and only minor disturbances occurred. Antares remained motionless, seemingly asleep. His presence was like a mountain, firmly suppressing the origin continent. Even those dissatisfied with Lin Moyu didn't dare provoke Antares, not just because he was a high-level soul but also because he was from the dragon race. The combination of Lin Moyu and Antares kept the origin continent in order. In contrast, the heavenly Tao was bustling. After the death of the Yellow Springs Tao Lord, the Yellow Springs Tao sect fell into chaos as elders fought for power. Unexpectedly, 100 years later, the Yellow Springs Tao Lord was revived by the mysterious Alliance Master of the Hell Union. The revived Yellow Springs Tao Lord immediately suppressed the chaos, executing many who opposed him. This event served as a warning to the Di Hua Tao sect, which had also been in turmoil after its master's death. The sect members became cautious, fearing their master might be revived as well. People also sensed the terrifying methods of the Hell Union's Alliance Master, who declared that they would not let Lin Moyu off the hook and would settle accounts with him eventually. In the heavenly Tao, a massive face appeared, accompanied by the Yellow Springs Tao. The revived Yellow Springs Tao Lord gazed at Antares with a sinister intent, as if he wanted to devour Lin Moyu. Antares slowly opened his eyes and warned.
Look again, and I'll kill you with a single dragon breath.
The Yellow Springs Tao Lord smiled eerily, his gaze unyielding. In the Void Realm, Lin Moyu was surrounded by an increasing number of divine runes. These runes combined to form formations, which then dispersed back into runes. The runes, constructed from Lin Moyu's soul power, changed according to his consciousness. Most of the runes were ones Lin Moyu had already mastered, while some were created through his own insights. Since the Void Realm differed from the real world, Lin Moyu had modified some runes to work effectively in the Void Realm. Through continuous contemplation and research, Lin Moyu discovered the essence of the Void Realm. He found that the chaotic mist wasn't just usable by void beasts. He could also harness its power with a medium. Divine runes were the best medium. By combining his soul power with the chaotic mist, Lin Moyu could represent the power of source crystals, significantly enhancing the rune's might. Based on this, Lin Moyu created numerous runes suitable for the Void Realm and used them to build a formation. Lin Moyu gradually understood the fundamental nature of the chaotic mist. It originated from the Great Tao, which, like all things, had a dual nature. In the Void Realm, the Great Tao was its shadow aspect, intertwining and merging under the influence of innate treasures to form chaos and mist. The chaotic mist seemed chaotic but actually contained various Great Tao powers, making it usable. Without innate treasures, the contradictions between the Great Tao couldn't be harmonized, resulting in vacuum zones. Lin Moyu's understanding of the Void Realm's essence deepened, and his insights grew. He adhered to the principle of understanding the essence of things and knowing their reasons. As his soul power surged, numerous runes flew out, absorbing vast amounts of chaotic mist. The runes combined to form an incredibly complex formation. Chapter 3664. The 1000 Tao, 10,000 Phenomena Formation. The moment the formation was completed, a massive amount of chaotic mist surged into it. The divine runes shone brightly, and the entire formation displayed a myriad of phenomena. Fire seas, ice rivers, storms, and soul vortexes. Various Great Tao anomalies appeared within the formation. The chaotic mist's Great Tao power was organized within the formation, transforming into countless phenomena that were further enhanced by the formation. This formation was like a barrier from the real world, with the Great Tao's power neatly arranged. However, it didn't organize all the Great Tao power. It only handled the power from the origin continent, discarding the weaker branch Taos. As the formation continued to operate, the Great Tao power gathered and grew stronger. More divine runes flew in, expanding the formation scale and categorizing the Great Tao powers so they wouldn't interfere with each other. After a while, the formation created thousands of regions with different landscapes, each controlled by distinct Great Tao powers. These regions were like the dangerous areas in the vacuum zones, terrifying and endless. Divine runes continued to fly out and merge into the formation, which was still expanding. The chaotic mist's Great Tao power was constantly being organized, and the formation's dangerous phenomena increased. Little Python was frightened by the sight, trembling as it hid behind Lin Moyu.
Master, what kind of formation is this? It's so terrifying, even more so than the vacuum zones. The dangers in the vacuum zones are limited, but here, one danger connects to another endlessly.
Lin Moyu suddenly opened his eyes and exhaled deeply.
I've finally understood.
Little Python forced itself to speak despite its fear.
Congratulations, Master, on achieving enlightenment.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
It's just a slight understanding, but it's still a gain.
He sensed his soul world and realized that 100 years had passed. He sighed.
100 years have gone by so quickly. The origin continent should now allow 7th-level innate soul Tao realms to enter.
Lin Moyu reflected on his gains over the past century. On the surface, he had created a powerful formation of his own. Deeper down, his understanding of divine runes and formations had deepened, and he had mastered the ability to create runes with his thoughts. With just a thought, he could draw runes, and the stronger his thoughts, the faster he could draw them. He could even create hundreds of runes simultaneously. This ability could be further enhanced until he reached the point where a single thought could create an entire formation. Lin Moyu wondered if the masters of the formation Dao could achieve this level, but he knew he was close. Little Python cautiously asked,
Master, what kind of formation is this?
Lin Moyu replied,
This is called the 1,000 Dao, 10,000 phenomena formation.
The name might not sound intimidating, but only those who had experienced it up close, like Little Python, knew how terrifying it was. Little Python asked,
Master, are you going to use this formation against the other small soul domain kings?
Lin Moyu smiled.
This formation can only weaken them. It can't truly kill them. However, that's enough. I'll weaken them and then take care of them personally. But the formation isn't complete yet. Let it grow a bit more.
Little Python was shocked.
It's not complete yet? I feel like I'd die if I entered it for even a moment.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
The purpose of this formation is not to kill but to injure. Of course, it can kill if needed, but that would go against my intentions.
Little Python didn't understand Lin Moyu's meaning. What was the point if it wasn't to kill? Lin Moyu chuckled.
Don't worry, you'll see.
More divine runes flew out, expanding the formation scale. The formation was like building blocks with its puzzle pieces constantly increasing. As the formation grew, the regions of phenomena expanded, becoming even more terrifying. Lin Moyu's ideal for the 1,000 Dao, 10,000 phenomena formation was for each phenomenon region to cover an entire small soul domain. The formation could accommodate countless small soul domains. Of course, this was just an idea, and he knew it was difficult to achieve. However, he always had ideals. The formation's diameter eventually exceeded 1,000,000 kilometers, resembling a giant sphere in the small soul domain. The surrounding chaotic mist was all drawn in, making the area almost as clear as a vacuum zone. At this point, Lin Moyu's soul finally felt a strain, knowing he had reached the limit of what he could control. Although the formation could still expand, if it grew any larger, it would exceed his control. Lin Moyu decided to stop the expansion, muttering,
1,000,000 kilometers, 1,000 different regions, is enough.
With his soul power surging, he slowly drew a complex divine rune. The rune was slow to create because it was more complex than ordinary formations. As he finished drawing the rune, Lin Moyu shouted,
Go!
The soul-corroding fire basin, een wood, and soul-devouring tree flew into the formation. Instantly, the formation's fire seas boiled, cold air surged, and soul cries echoed. The 3 innate treasures enhanced the corresponding region's phenomena within the 1,000 Dao, 10,000 phenomena formation. The fire, ice, and soul regions became even more formidable. Lin Moyu finally completed the rune and infused it with the world-burning fire. The rune's center erupted in flames, and Lin Moyu swung his hand, sending the rune into the formation's center. Like adding eyes to a dragon painting, the rune brought the formation to life. Previous formations lacked a central control hub, and this rune served that purpose. Now, if anything was lacking, it was in formation spirit. However, formation spirits were hard to come by, especially in the Void Realm, so Lin Moyu didn't hold out hope. Finally, Lin Moyu took out the soul refining furnace and placed it at the formation center. He whispered,
Hide!
The 1,000 Dao, 10,000 phenomena formation gradually disappeared, its phenomena calming and eventually vanishing into the void. Little Python wondered,
Master, where did the formation go?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
It's still here. It's just invisible.
He wanted to attract other small soul domain kings, so he had designed the formation to hide itself from the start. Fortunately, the Void Realm had vacuum zones as examples, allowing Lin Moyu to mimic their ability to conceal. However, this wouldn't work against real-world cultivators who could see the Great Dao. With everything prepared, Lin Moyu took out some soul crystals and fed them into the soul refining furnace. Boom! The furnace erupted in flames, releasing a peculiar aura in all directions. Chapter 3665. Simple traps are the most effective. This time, Lin Moyu activated the soul refining furnace with great ferocity. and its aura quickly spread to other small soul domains. The kings who had previously fought over the furnace had left their unique soul imprints on it. These imprints were undetectable to anyone except the kings themselves. Lin Moyu couldn't sense or erase these imprints, so he used them to lure the kings. By doing so, he was broadcasting to the nearby small soul domains.
The soul refining furnace has appeared again. Come and fight for it.
The reappearance of the soul refining furnace excited the kings who had recently returned. Unlike the Soul Heart King, these kings weren't intelligent or independent thinkers. The soul refining furnace represented their hope for transcendence, and they would inevitably come. Lin Moyu whispered,
The net is cast. Now, let's see when the fish will take the bait.
Little Python asked quietly.
Will those kings really come?
Lin Moyu replied,
They certainly will. Transcendence is the instinct of void beasts, and there aren't many soul heart kings in the void realm.
At that moment, Lin Moyu's treasure mountain fragment suddenly transmitted the voice of the Soul Heart King.
Lin friend is too kind.
Lin Moyu hadn't intentionally hidden the Soul Heart King's presence and couldn't help but smile.
Soul heart friend, would you like to come and watch the excitement?
The Soul Heart King replied,
Lin friend is too polite. I recently gained some insights and won't be coming.
The Soul Heart King was sipping tea made from the golden silver tree's sap and the world tree's leaves, enjoying clear and lucid thoughts about his Tao. He was indifferent to Lin Moyu's actions. Lin Moyu didn't force the issue.
Then I wish Soul Heart friend great progress in his cultivation.
The Soul Heart King also responded,
I wish Lin friend achieves his heart's desire.
Lin Moyu slowly activated the soul refining furnace, producing one void soul pill after another. Half a day later, Lin Moyu suddenly flew out a divine rune that exploded, enveloping himself and Little Python, causing them to disappear. Little Python knew that this meant void beasts were approaching. Indeed, soon, void beasts appeared in the distance, flying towards them while searching for something. When they saw the soul refining furnace, the void beasts' eyes gleamed, and they rushed towards it. Meanwhile, another group of powerful void beasts appeared from a different direction. These two groups of void beasts, each from different small soul domains, had come for the soul refining furnace. They clashed fiercely. Lin Moyu observed that the void beasts' realms were mostly between the second and fourth levels of the soul. He didn't see any first-level soul void beasts. Lin Moyu said,
First-level soul void beasts are either killed by the small soul domain kings or have fled to distant lands. I wonder where they went.
Little Python mentioned,
I've heard of a place called the Beast Abyss, where only first-level void beasts can enter. I don't know what happens inside.
The Beast Abyss? It seemed the void realm had many secrets. Lin Moyu's voice was low.
Why didn't you mention this before?
Little Python shivered.
You didn't ask before, Master.
Lin Moyu chuckled, frightening Little Python, who looked pitiful.
Little Python didn't mean to hide it. You just didn't think of it before. You only heard it occasionally and didn't know where the Beast Abyss was.
Lin Moyu said seriously,
Let it go this time, but in the future, speak up if you have anything to say.
As he spoke, Lin Moyu threw a soul crystal to Little Python, offering a sweet date after a slap. The two groups of void beasts fought fiercely, drawing closer to the soul refining furnace. The furnace, under Lin Moyu's control, continued to emit flames and produce void soul pills. The aroma of the void soul pills had a strong attraction for the void beasts, who were irresistibly drawn to them. Lin Moyu gazed into the distance.
There's another group of void beasts. They should be making their moves soon.
In his line of sight, he saw massive soul flames in the distance. The third group of void beasts had been waiting, but they hadn't come yet, clearly waiting for the first two groups to weaken each other. The leader of the third group was somewhat smarter. However, due to the presence of the void soul pills, the first two groups were no longer focused on fighting. They were more like decoys, constantly moving closer to the pills. Void beasts weren't intelligent. Faced with temptation, they forgot their master's orders. They were no longer there for the soul refining furnace, but were fixated on the void soul pills. Such an army, if placed in the real world, would be completely incompetent. Finally, seeing the void beasts closing in on the soul refining furnace, the observing void beasts from the third group couldn't resist and charged forward. Lin Moyu shook his head.
A bit clever, but not enough.
In his view, the trap he had set wasn't sophisticated. It was even a bit foolish. It wasn't that he couldn't come up with a better layout, but more complex traps might not work on these unintelligent void beasts. Simple traps were the most effective against such foes. The third group's entry made the scene even more chaotic. A massive battle erupted around the soul-refining furnace. Lin Moyu didn't intervene, letting them fight among themselves. The mantis stalks the cicada, while the oriole waits behind. Since the small soul domain kings hadn't made their move yet, Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. Moreover, the fourth group of void beasts hadn't arrived. He thought,
Previously, there were 4 kings attacking the grass soul king. Now, only 3 groups of void beasts have come. Is it because that king is farther away, or what?
he wanted to catch them all in one net. Having put so much effort into this, it would be a waste if he missed one. However, for now, there seemed to be no better way. He could only wait and see how things developed. The void beasts fought more chaotically, unable to approach the soul-refining furnace. Lin Moyu checked the time and, with a thought, stopped the furnace's flames, making it appear as if it might leave at any moment. If this were the real world, a cultivator would notice something was amiss. However, the void beasts didn't. They became anxious. In Lin Moyu's line of sight, for intense soul flames suddenly appeared.
Ah, they've all arrived.
Lin Moyu felt reassured, seeing that the 4 small soul domain kings had arrived. At this point, the number of void beast groups or whose they were no longer mattered. His main target was these kings. The rest were just extras. The kings feared the soul-refining furnace might disappear again or that they might be preempted by others. They also worried that if they obtained the furnace, they would be targeted by the other kings. Under these complex emotions, the kings finally couldn't resist and charged towards the soul-refining furnace. Massive forces clashed in the void realm, causing the great Tao to tremble. The void space was extremely resilient and didn't break, not even cracking. If this were the real world, a battle between Tao Lord would have shattered the space long ago. The 4 kings fought while rushing towards the soul-refining furnace. Lin Moyu, hiding in the shadows, smiled slightly.
Begin, formation activate.
With his thought, the 1,000 Tao, 10,000 phenomena formation suddenly appeared. The great Tao roared, with fire burning, winds blowing, and soul impacts. Countless phenomena shone brightly, illuminating the void realm space. The void beasts let out unending cries of agony.